Ignore that, by the way. I tell all my clients to ignore it because they always ask me, like, should I do this? Like, yes, you should do this.
Welcome to another episode of the Jobology podcast. I'm your host, Brandon. Today, my guest is Carrie, and I am under the impression that it's like YouTube content marketer. I'm going to let her kind of explain exactly what she does. But first, I just want to say thank you for being with me today, Carrie.
Hi, so excited to be here. Thanks, Brandon.
Appreciate it. If you had to describe your job in a sentence, how would you describe your job?
I make and build YouTube channels for brands and businesses.
Okay, there we go. That's perfect. Okay, that's exactly what, I think that's important nowadays, especially with the rise in people wanting to be YouTubers and content creators. So I think that's something that can definitely benefit uh large swath of society as well as me personally. So we'll see how this goes. But first question that I have for you is YouTuber, quote unquote, is like the new astronaut or athlete when you ask a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? So what piece of advice would you have for kids that want to be a YouTuber?
My biggest piece of advice is you have to commit. And not to bring up Mr. Beast, because I know that everyone knows him and he is the biggest YouTuber, but something that he always says is like, you can't give up, or you like your channel, you expect your channel to be nothing for at least the first 100 videos because YouTube is it's really different compared to other social media platforms because it's the one platform in which the older your video is, it might actually be like it might age like fine wine because the older it is, it might rank higher, right? More people might click on it. Really old Mr. Beast videos still get shown to new people every single day, and they're still racking up millions and millions of views. And so it's a really unique thing about YouTube in that the payoff isn't immediate. It's not like TikTok where you know you do really well on this one video and it goes viral. Yes, YouTube will reward you like that, but you can't expect it. You have to commit to at least 100 videos and you could see in tremendous results before then. But if mentally you're not committed to 100, you could give up. Most people give up way too soon. So that's why that's my piece of advice because it may feel really hard and you're not getting a lot in the beginning, but commit and you will be rewarded.
I think that's valuable information for people out there.
And it's truly the one platform that has continuously paid creators. Do you know how much YouTube paid out to the creators last year? $26 billion. That's bigger than the GDP of most countries.
That's not even like I talk to people a lot about like there's certain things I can't even wrap my mind around, and like that would be something where it sounds like imaginary numbers at that point.
Oh, yeah. Like one of our clients that we work with, he's a crypto creator named Virtual Bacon. So we actually started working with him November of 2023. And he had 17,000 subscribers and he was mainly a TikTok creator. So like a lot of short form. He didn't really know how to be on long form because it's much different. And within literally 1 year of us working together, in 6 months, we took him to 100,000. And now today he has over 250,000. And a lot of creators who like started on short form have trouble like what do I talk about for 10 plus minutes at a time, and it's a totally different way of engaging and also filming and being on camera. And and what I think why I bet my entire agency on YouTube is that you are when you watch someone on YouTube or even listen to a podcast, you're spending like minutes with them, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You're going from one video to another. You're not watching a video in a feed where 10 seconds later you literally might have forgotten what you just watched about because your brain is on something else now. So why we bet everything on YouTube is it is really engaging. You have the most loyal audience and you get paid and your videos age like fine wine. Like, yeah. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that sounds like that really resonates with me. Obviously, being trying to be a creative on YouTube and going that route is like okay. just because something didn't pop immediately. Whereas like on TikTok, if it doesn't pop immediately, probably not going to. But if it doesn't pop immediately on YouTube, that doesn't mean it's not going to, or it won't catch steam eventually.
YouTube only shows your video when it knows that there's an audience for it. So it doesn't, just because you posted a video doesn't mean YouTube's going to drive traffic to it. YouTube focuses on the audience. So if there's an audience that wants this content, it'll feed it all day long. And how YouTube matches up a video and your audience is based on what information you give YouTube about what your channel is about, what you talk about, what your video is about. So the better you can identify your what and tell YouTube what your video is about, the better it can match it up with people that it knows is interested in your topic. That helps. I know I just shared a lot, but
No, that makes sense though. Is because I have a. That's funny that you kind of mentioned like the way that YouTube works, and because my next question is like, what is the YouTube algorithm? What does that entail? Is it something that's important? It seems like this kind of like boogeyman that people are like, oh, if I'm not in the algorithm, I'm never gonna get, popular or whatever. But what does that entail exactly?
mm. So the YouTube algorithm works in several ways now, especially now that there's shorts added in. So I'll break out the different parts of YouTube in 1 second. But in general, I think about the YouTube audience. I equate it to no, I actually I just gave it away. I think about the YouTube algorithm is equal to audience because what I said earlier was it's all about the viewer. And YouTube can tell, so as your viewer, YouTube knows what you like based on what you've watched and what you've clicked on, your history, right? And so when you think about YouTube, it's a search engine. It's actually the world's second largest search engine behind Google, and it's a social platform. And it's the in the world it is the second largest social platform. And here in the US, it is the most used social media platform across all age groups, teens, everyone. So that's already two parts. There's the social, there's the search part of the algo, and then now there's the shorts algorithm part of it too. So you really want to think about it in three different parts. And that's why I think sometimes it's complex when you're thinking about growing on YouTube, because you can make a really good video that ranks really high, but that it doesn't travel very well through in the suggested or the browse features traffic sources. You can make a short that does really well in the feed, but it never shows up on search. But the way that we do it at Group Hugs is we tackle all three because we know how each of them work. And so when you really want to make a video that builds over time, you have to have all three. So I'm going to kind of talk about how they all work together. So give me a video idea and we can workshop it together.
Okay. I want to start reviewing comic books. I got comic books on the back wall here, so that's what I want to
Ah,
do. I want to start, going through explaining which comic books are, rare, which ones are not rare, which ones have the best content, which ones, where do I find Spider-Man for the first time, all that kind of stuff.
okay. Thank you for the context. All right.
Yeah,
So now let's work it into each of the parts of the algorithm. Shorts is separate, so we're gonna think. Let's first focus on the long form video, and then we
sure.
can talk about how the shorts integrates into the whole system. So if it's about comic book, to cover, so let's start with search. It's the most easy to conceptualize. So with search, think about how you use Google because Google owns YouTube. It is a search platform, and it's based on your interests. And so this is the first place you should start, in my opinion, because it's the low hanging fruit. You want to be there when the people who are literally searching Silver Surfer comic book, like you want to actually
Yeah, I
be there
want to
because
be the
this
one
is
that
someone who's literally right, right. You're not having to even
Mhm.
convince that person to like pay attention because they're literally searching
They're
for
trying to
something that
find
you're talking
this.
about.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So that's why I start there first because it's going to be so sad if you miss that opportunity. So now first think, okay, what if you were the person searching for your content? How would you literally type it into Google? How would you literally type it into
Oh.
YouTube so that you could find that video, right? And so when you start there, you want to make sure you're answering that question in your title, in your description, and in the tag section of YouTube, you fill it with tags for other ways, other keywords that they could search you. For example, Silver Surfer. Okay, you definitely put that in the section. Comic books, put that in here. Most popular comic books, comic book review, right?
Marvel, DC, gotcha.
Exactly. Exactly. Spider-Man, like all of these big keywords, you want to fill them and you want to put them in your description. Obviously, you can't fill it all up in your title because there's a limited amount, but your title isn't set yet because we also have other parts of the algorithm to think about. But when you're conceptualizing it, first start with search and then write your research in.
So like hashtags, quote on, like what hashtags are people would people be finding this under? Okay.
Yes. And something interesting about YouTube is if you're uploading a YouTube video, in the tag section, YouTube has like some tiny text above that says tags are like don't do that much. I'm paraphrasing, but it's so silly to me that they literally say like, oh, don't worry about tags. It really doesn't have much impact on ranking. I think that's BS because why would you have this box that you've had there for since the inception of YouTube and ask people to fill it out if it doesn't do anything?
Yeah. Hey, do this thing. It's gonna not do anything.
Right. Like, why do you even have it there? So ignore that, by the way. I tell all my clients to ignore it because they always ask me, like, should I do this? Like, yes, you should do this. Because remember what I said about telling YouTube about what your video is about? This is where you're literally putting your information in. So if you skip that, you're missing out on a lot of keywords where you're feeding YouTube, this is what it's about, so that it can actually match you up with people who are searching. So don't skip it. All right. Now, moving on from search to the social aspect. So this is where like now you can think more like now you have to think more about your hooks and like how you're going to get people to click. You more of like our classic social media, I guess.
Like rarest.
Yeah, exactly. Best crazy things that you didn't know, right? Like these little like now you're kind of thinking like blog or like headlines that really like grab your attention.
Clickbait, quote unquote. Right?
Yes, and
Okay.
and and gosh, YouTube has like it's really unlike any other platform because we have these wild, like overly dramatic, like crazy, thumbnails that are just
Yeah.
not even realistic, but they work.
Right. Yeah.
But they're so cheesy in any other context. Like you would not see that on a website. It's
Yeah.
funny. It's a funny platform.
Boom, 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 choom, choom. Yeah.
Right. It's like Mr. Beast video. They're not even like real photos. They like manufacture the entire
Yeah.
scenario in literally all of his YouTube videos. So it's a funny thing. But remember, because that's the social aspect. And that's really how YouTube works, right? When people are so to tap into that place, you really want to, you're thinking the first place to think is homepage. When someone goes to youtube.com or opens up their YouTube app, YouTube at that point has no idea what that viewer came for. They could be looking up how to change a tire. They could be looking up music video.
A new recipe.
Yeah, it could be like
Sure.
watching the NFL, like anything.
Yeah.
And so at that point, that's when YouTube is like, all right, I have this opportunity to just show the viewer a bunch of things. And that's when they show you some subscribed content that you're subscribed to. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's when they show you a bunch of other things, right?
If you like this, you might like this.
Exactly. So if video has been trending, for some people that are similar to you, then this is when YouTube may show that new video. And this is how that discovery platform part of it works. And then the other part of the social aspect is the suggested. When you're watching video, right? And then all the videos that are suggested after underneath. That's another place where you can discover new people because they know that you're for sure interested. You've already watched half of this other video. So now they're going to show you
Yeah.
even more that are related. Now this is the social aspect really kicking in. And so when you're writing your title, you wanted to mix the title and your thumbnail and your description. It's called packaging. YouTube packaging. It's the package that is supposed to attract your people. Um, and so your packaging needs to be clear to
Okay.
the people who are searching what your video is about, and that whatever they came for, they're going to get in this video. And at the same time, it needs to be clickbaity. Let's just say that word. It needs to be clickbaity for people who may not know about your podcast, who may not know about your channel. And that's where the balance, and that's why YouTube is hard because you're balancing two different things and channels that like pop off and don't sustain usually only capture the social piece, but there's no longevity because you're not capturing the search volume that happens every single day. People are searching how to change a tire every single day. Facts. So that's why like there's a good YouTube video should build forever if it can capture both sides of the algorithm.
Now I'm literally, as we're going through this, I'm like, oh man, I need to change this about my thing. Our titles, we got to change
Yeah.
those. I need new thumbnails. Oh, you got my whole brain going. All right.
I'm going to take the Silver Surfer idea. So, because I just saw it, I think you said Spider Man, but going off that idea, so the way that you would title it to make it get both is 10 crazy things you didn't know about the Silver Surfer comic series.
Okay.
And now someone who's searching it is like, whoa, wait a second, I am searching it. I'm going to watch it. And someone who didn't know about it, maybe I should say Spider Man because Spider Man may be more like, you know,
If I'm understanding correctly, saying in the title, like, 10 crazy things you didn't know about the Silver Surfer Marvel comic, then people who are
there we go. Yeah,
searching
yeah, yeah.
Marvel comics, that one pops up. Then people who are searching specifically for Silver Surfer, that might pop up,
Like you could even say like 10 secret things that Stanley or ten Easter eggs Stanley hid in the Silver Marvel series, even, right?
because Easter egg is a clickbaity thing. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Exactly.
Learning a lot today. This is awesome. That's why I do this job. I love learning. Okay.
And I love talking about YouTube. So it's
Hey,
great.
this is a match made in heaven right now.
Yes. And anyone can do it. And I expect to see some content now after. And with with something like Marvel, this is an evergreen topic. This is a word that I use with my clients. Like we always aim for evergreen content, not just engaging, trendy, but evergreen, because that is what's going to make you the most money as a creator. Because we have my clients, when they make one video, that money that video produces revenue from YouTube forever. It's like making a
Mm,
video and then it's actually paying you for the lifetime of your channel. That's a dream.
like royalties, like doing a commercial.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. So always think my biggest tip, think evergreen. Don't just think trendy because it's gonna blow over. And then if you're trying to make a living off of YouTube, the more evergreen your content is, the more like stable you are, the more, yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be better for you and the channel.
This is awesome. Okay. Great. This is like, my brains explode in here. There's so much stuff going
Yay!
on. I love it. It's awesome. I'm like, okay, so maybe I should start changing my titles to like Jobology, how to become a whatever, instead of just Jobology, mailman, but like how to become a mailman or secrets
Exactly.
about the mailman or something like that. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And everyone got a mailman, so that's like kind of like that who that applies to everyone. And the more you can kind of like tap into like this everyone thing, something that we think about is how could this video reach 100 million people?
Okay.
Like we do that thought exercise in our team, and not in a lot of our clients are like B2B businesses, so they're like software companies, so not everyone is their target. But we like to still do this exercise, like how can we tap in? How can we make a video interesting to everyone who this video should be interesting to? And that thought exercise helps you like reframe your title, your packaging, what your thumbnail looks like. And I also would recommend spending 80% of your time on the packaging because if you can't get people into the video,
It doesn't matter what the content is because they're not going to click it.
the packaging is important.
Yeah. It's like, so the analogy that I was thinking of is like at Christmas time, if you go to like a white elephant and you see all the presents lined out, you want to take the one that is like the bows are done right, the wrapping's nice, the one in the brown paper bag, you're like, I don't, content might not be there. But the one that the person's taken all the time to do, it gets you visually there first. And then you go, oh, this is what I got.
That is such a good analogy. I'm going to steal that analogy. I'm going to use it.
I feel like I'm taking a lot of your information today. So if you want to take one of my analogies, I think that's totally fair.
I love it. I love it.
I have one more question about, kind of YouTube specifically, and then we can kind of get a little bit more into like what you do day to day and how you got your job exactly. But something that I think maybe people don't know about, or maybe people do know about, is how like prevalent slash useful is buying subscribers or buying followers, or like what what is that exactly?
Mm, wow, good question. I had clients actually ask me this when we launch a new channel, and I'm always surprised because we've never bought followers or views really at group hugs. We are an organic first agency, and I'm I believe that it's better to build your audience slower and have each person who subscribes choose to subscribe because they want to be there, because that person is going to view your next video. They're going to actually watch your content. Because what happens is if you buy subscribers, what YouTube is going to do, remember how I talked about the homepage? When you publish a new video, YouTube is going to push that onto the homepage of your subscribers. And if they don't click, they're not going to show it to that person again. And then the more that your subscribers don't watch your video, YouTube's going to stop pushing your content to your subscribers. And then you're not going to go anywhere. And I've met with potential clients who do this shortcut, and when I tell them that we do it organically, it's going to be slower, but you're going to have better results in the long run if you are truly building a brand. And then they, go and do their thing, and then I look at their new videos and then nothing happens and they have to buy ads to make it look good, and then you're just stuck in this perpetual cycle of no one watching your content. You have fake subscribers and your channel is not actually growing. And YouTube does not reward you for ads, by the way. So if you have a video, you can buy 1,000 views and you can be monetized, but YouTube's going to pay you nothing for those views. Only views or earned organically count towards monetization, and you get paid for them. So I don't see the point.
As you were mentioning that too, I was thinking like, well, also like if I'm trying to grow an actual fan base, like as a podcaster, I want like an actual fan base that if at some point we want to release merch or something like that, like the bot subscribe, they're not buying the merch. They're not buying, you know what I mean? Like they're not doing that kind of stuff. It's okay, got it. So, because I'm not opposed to taking the shortcut from time to time, but if you were, if you go look at my YouTube page, you can clearly tell we did not take shortcut anywhere. So,
It'll be better for you, I promise, in the long run.
I think so, especially with what kind of the light you're shining on that of like, yeah, it might work in the short term, be like, oh, look at this brand, whatever. But then if there's no retention, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Exactly. And one more thing about the YouTube algorithm, you said it, retention. So once you get people to the video, what YouTube really cares about, watch time. Because how does YouTube make money? Ads. So they care about watch time. And it's all about like, what are the incentives here, right? YouTube is incentivized to sell ads because that's how they monetize. And so if you're not keeping people around, your video is not going to be profitable to them. So you can get people to your video, but if your video isn't engaging and it's not keeping people around, YouTube's not going to promote it either. Um, so I think that's why YouTube is harder, because there's like these tests. You have to like get people to the video, and then you have to prove it. You have to get them to stay. But and that's why I also say this 100 videos thing, because you're going to learn so much about your style along the way. And by the end of 100 videos, or even 50, or even 25, even 20, 10, you learn so much from each video that by the time you get to 100, your videos are going to be good. And so there's no reason why, if you commit to 100, why you're not going to be where you want to be. But most people quit after like two, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't quit. We're still here. We're still going, but we definitely took a hiatus after about 40 because I was just like, I got, you know, uh, a little bit discouraged, and then, decided, nope, keep going. And then now that you're like, it's like, you're not anything until you do 100 anyway. Well, all right. Guess I
Yeah,
got a lot more to go. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Good to know that I'm not behind.
don't quit yet. And I'll make
Okay.
sure you don't quit.
Yeah, hold me to it. I like that. So one of the important things that I think about with Jobology and talking to people about jobs is how do you actually get your job? So, is there an application like if I want to come work for group hugs, what do I have to do?
In the beginning, when I first founded Group Hug, we actually had two services, and this is why I'm here actually. So part of our we had, and it was all organic marketing. It was YouTube and then Facebook groups, and both, one was building community on, like, community with community members, and then one, of course, is like one to many type of distribution of community with YouTube. And I, and what and I think what really makes people successful at YouTube is really having a really like really high level understanding of what motivates people to act. So the empathy. And I didn't become a marketer. I didn't go to school for marketing. I actually went to school for biochemistry. And so, like, everything that I learned on YouTube, and just from experience, like interacting with people, understanding people's motivations for doing things, because that's actually how you're good at YouTube. You're not making the video for you, Brandon. You're making it for others. And I think that's something that is really, it can be tough. And so if you want to come work at Group Hugs, I actually don't care about your experience. You don't even have to have a college degree. That personally doesn't matter to me anymore. But if you have high empathy and high understanding of humans and connection and what motivates people, I think that is the secret sauce to being really good at YouTube. Because in the end, you're storytelling, and you have to keep people engaged, and you really have to understand humans.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I mean, I was talking to a music manager the other day, and we were talking about how like technology changes with music a lot, and I would assume kind of the same thing. You have to be willing to like adapt and learn new
Oh,
skills and traits. And oh, this is the new software that's out, so this is where we go this way. And so I think that that would be something too of like, oh, got to be willing to adapt.
yes. I'm so glad you said it. I think I'm sometimes numb to how quickly marketing changes, because how
Yeah.
quickly social media changes in general. I think I'm just used to it by now, but
Right.
it
There
is.
may be a new app, there may be a new, yeah, lane that we gotta to learn.
Oh, dude, like YouTube has changed more in the past year and a half than it has in the last 10 years that it's been around. Like, they added YouTube Shorts a year and a half ish ago, I think. I honestly can't even remember, but it hasn't been more than 2 years. No way. They added shorts like what seemed overnight, and then that impacted oh my god, it was a hot mess actually there for a second, because the
Yeah.
algorithm was confused, and it was like, when you're looking at data and analytics, they weren't separated out. Now you can see
Mhm.
shorts and long separately. Thank goodness. Thank you, YouTube, for making those changes. It was a hot mess.
Yeah.
And trying to learn how to do shorts, because it's different than TikTok, although like everyone's trying to copy TikTok, but it doesn't quite work like TikTok. So being in marketing, yes, you do have to have a massive appetite for change and being uncomfortable, because what's going
Yeah.
to work in this one video, it may not work in this next one,
Sure.
because the tides have changed. And right, I think I also I consume a lot of social media on other platforms, not just YouTube. But there's this thing happening, kind of between end of 2023 and this year, where like what's old is new, and then what's new is old, where like people now like more edited videos. Now vlogs are coming back. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like fashion in a way, where like things come back. But the way to think about it is it's about standing out.
Okay.
If everyone's doing this in their thumbnails with their mouth open, you
Yeah.
might want to do your mouth closed, and do a more a different type of colored thumbnail, because people tend to copy each other on YouTube, especially thumbnails. And so everything over time just ends up looking the same. And so you do have to think about, it's not like, yes, you want good content. And when you're thinking about packaging, like look at the other thumbnails and think, how can I make it so that mine does not blend in with these? When most people think, oh, how can I make mine look like that? You have to think the opposite.
Yeah. Because then it'll just get lost. And then but if
Yeah,
you do it a
exactly.
little different, then you stand out, and it's like, "Oh, what's that one? Why is that one different than the rest? Let me see what's going on there."
You got it. You got it.
I'm there. I'm gonna do a whole revamp. Just wait, guys. Um, Something also that I find very important, I mean, depending on jobs, some jobs are a little bit more, this is what happens day to day. Some jobs are every day is a new adventure. I don't know what's going to happen. But if you had to kind of like sh- share what your like average day kind of looks like, what would like what time do you get up? What time are you done? Do you have a good work life balance? Is it I just work all the time? Kind of what does your average day look like?
So I wake up at around 7:30 most days, and I have to meditate in the mornings now. It's out of necessity, or else I am a hot mess throughout the day. So I wake up, do 20 minutes of meditation before I even get out of bed. I sit up, do it right then and there, set my timer, and then I get up. I have to move in the mornings. Same thing. I'm ADHD AF, and this is more of a controlling my neurotransmitters,
Gotcha. I'm with it.
and so that I'm not, yeah, all over the place, all over the place during the day. I start work at 9 every day. We are a fully remote team, so everyone works on their local time zone, and I'm kind of nomadic right now. So wherever I am, I just wake up or I start work at 9 local. And the first thing I do is I'm before I check my emails and get overwhelmed by like Slack messages from clients or anything, I create content. So that means if I have a goal of either creating a TikTok that day, a short form content, writing, like writing for LinkedIn, working on my newsletter, I save that morning time for me while I'm waking up and I'm starting to think about my thoughts. And one of the best ways that I found to wake up and to get in the mode of working is listening to a podcast in whatever I'm trying to do. So if I'm getting ready to write about marketing, I'll listen to a marketing podcast, right, to get my juices flowing. So I listen to podcasts like daily, actually, and God, I consume so much content a day. I wish I should track this.
Yeah. I There you go.
And then I get into I reserve I have chunks. I block schedule. Also, without that, I don't know how I'd get anything done. I block schedule my day, so I have my team meetings in the middle of the day, um, like a little bit after morning time, and then right after that, I save it for reviews. Because basically all day, I'm either reviewing like packaging, so like thumbnails, titles. We have meetings with the team for everyone to strategically meet together and put all of our best ideas together in the middle of the day. And then afternoon, everyone does their own work. So I'll review like full videos then. Um, and I'm also doing sales for group hugs right now. So I will often have like discovery calls or pitch meetings with potential clients that I'm prepping for. But generally, it's create content, review things with clients, have client meetings or have some meetings with the team, and then I have focus work where I have time to really do the actual work in the afternoon. But of course, speaking of work-life balance, that does bleed over sometimes. And when you're on a call, you can't do any work, and some days just have a lot of calls and meetings. And so a lot of days I will work at night, but like in a good way because no one is there, so I can actually like get some work done. So it feels nice.
Well, and it's probably different than like a job where it's like somebody's telling you you have to. Like, I need you to do this after, and it's like, well, man, I don't want to do that. But if you're like, you know what, I prefer to do it this way because nobody's bothering me and I can do my stuff and get whatever I need done, then
Yeah,
it's less feeling like an intrusion on your work life balance because that's how
agreed.
you've balanced it.
Agreed. And I have days where I don't work at night, and then days that I do. But in the end, like what I feel like I feel very lucky to do what I do because like I work with clients that are in software. I work with crypto clients. I work with health and wellness clients like Plunge.
Mhm.
They have their ice bath that's everywhere, and
Yeah.
I feel like all day I just get to learn because like my team is scripting these videos. Our client films and then we edit. And then as I'm watching this content, I'm just absorbing. Like one of my clients is a solar energy commercial solar energy client. I know so much about solar, and maybe I didn't have to, but now I
Yeah.
do, and it's awesome. So, yeah, I just get to learn all day.
Like, that's why I do this, is because I just like I said, talked to a music manager the other day, got to learn about that. Talked to a priest the other day, got to learn about that. Like, it's just I just sit and go,
Yeah.
I know nothing. Give me your information. Like, teach me. And so I enjoy it. I just like learning and finding out new things that I didn't know before.
I think this curiosity piece is a big part of having a fulfilling life, in my
I
opinion.
agree. No, I agree. I think that if you have it all figured out, if you go, "I've got it all figured out," you're missing out. You're missing out on a lot of stuff because most people, you don't. Like, in the end, you don't have it all figured out. But if you think you do, then you're not gonna take in the information that people are providing for you. Um, so last little bit here of the podcast, I like to leave for my guest to either promote their own business, a cause. If they just want to talk about whatever, they can feel free, but here's your time.
If you wanna start a YouTube channel, definitely give my socials a follow. I usually currently, I'm actually most active on TikTok right now, ironically, but my team and I, we're working on videos for YouTube, and we're really excited for our very first one, of this year. It's actually not a very traditional video. We're applying the what I actually just told you earlier about capturing all the different parts. And so you can follow at Grow with Group Hugs on YouTube or Group Hugs on TikTok. I think we can list them in the show notes. But if you want to grow on YouTube, we don't actually work with individuals. We work with businesses currently. However, we are going to be launching a course later this year that is really self-serve. It is geared towards brands and businesses, but it can be your personal brand. So what we're really the way that I'm gearing this course and the self-serve course is to make it really easy for you to actually build a profitable business out of it and not create con just create content and capture trends. Yeah. So at grouphugs.co is our website. And if you have a business or a brand and you're really serious about YouTube, we take you through, we do every single thing for you. We help you run strategy, we script based on your knowledge base. And then all you have to do is show up to film, read the teleprompter, and then give us the footage. We edit, do all the packaging, and you just watch your channel for it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I mean, I'm sure you have a very busy day, so I always like to, thank you for sitting down with us and explaining kind of the back end and the, how to be successful on YouTube. And I can't wait to now go put all of my stuff to use. So I'm going to rewatch this back, take notes on my own video, and then go apply it. So thank you so much, Carrie.
Thank you, Brandon. Have a good day. Happy to help. You know where to find me.
Well, that's it for another episode of the Jobology podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys want to support our channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow at Jobology Podcast on all major social media platforms. Your support means everything. Like we say to end every episode, make good choices.